are listening to Pause. We pause for a second or two. This is episode 54, Specific Skill Proximity. If you look at the Polaroid, the image for today's episode, you will see the image of a candle flame and a few of my fingertips dangerously close to the flame. And as you look at this picture, it's easy to imagine the feeling in the image that if I go any closer to this flame, then I will get burnt. Today's episode is about specific skill proximity. And proximity basically means nearness, closeness. When we spatially and or emotionally are close to something or in the same space as something. Specific skill proximity is specific for our worn out situation. And worn out is just one way to say that we feel overexerted, too tired, drained, depressed, subdued, submissive. You get the picture. And one of the three specific skills that we can make use of in addressing our worn out situation is proximity. How near are we to something stressful, something dangerous, something burning like a flame? As we go about our lives, we are naturally good at identifying dangers. We have quite an easy time to just recognize most dangers. Not every, but most. The flames, so to speak, stand out quite clearly to us. However, what kind of proximity that is good for us, and what kind of proximity that becomes overwhelming to us, is not as easily discerned. One aspect of specific skill proximity has to do with when we come across a danger or a flame, so to speak, that is new to us. So we recognize it as something potentially dangerous, but we do not yet know how we personally will react to it. We do not yet know how we personally will be affected by this flame. So often, if we can, we kind of dip our toes into this new thing. And we feel something. Sometimes it feels like maybe we imagined beforehand. And at other times, we are surprised by our reaction. So we take a step back. So we step outside of proximity. We step out of close proximity to this new flame. And then we just give ourselves time to sort of process what just happened, how we felt about this new thing. And then, if it feels right, we come back. We come back to be in close proximity to this new danger. And we feel again. How does it feel a second time? And we feel something. Might be a version of the first sensation, or it might have evolved into something else the second time. And then we step back. We step out of close proximity again. And again, we give ourselves time to just process what happened. And this is, of course, this is not something we always adhere to. It's a skill, and sometimes we live according to skills and sometimes we don't. But it is a good image to have with us, that we may step in and out of close proximity to something new, something stressful, something challenging, something we haven't come upon before. So we step inside of close proximity and we step out. And in between each in and out, we give ourselves time to sort of process. What is this? How is this affecting me? A second aspect, or a second version of specific skill proximity, is when we do not have the ability or the option of stepping out. Sometimes in life, something enters our life or we are forced to enter into a new kind of situation where we do not have the option of stepping out. We are sort of stuck or trapped, or, there's no way out. And then proximity takes on a different feel to us. If we think that we have a way out of something new, something stressful, something challenging or potentially harming to us, harmful, if we are convinced that we have a door that we can just step out through, then we will view this stressful flame in one light. We will think of it in one way. But if we know that the door is closed, or there is no door at all, we just know that now we just have to live with this new stressful flame. It's inevitable. When we just know that this is how it's gonna be now, then our thinking about the stressful thing will change. Our thinking will change, and it will be quite completely different from how our thinking was when we had a way out or a door we could walk in and out of. So to one person, something stressful, a flame, can seem completely different than that for another person. Because for one person, there's a door open to get out, and for the other person, there's not. So it's the same stressful thing they are experiencing, but it's a completely different thing to the both of them. So they are looking at the same thing, but not the same thing at all. And both are true. So, when we are in the second kind of proximity, the one when we do not have anywhere to go, we do not have an escape route, we do not have any options, we are trapped. When we are in that kind of proximity with something stressful, then we will inevitably become more or less worn out. More or less worn out. And the manner in which we experience this wearing out will be very personal. We will experience this wearing out situation in very different ways. Some of us will just get tired. Some of us will get angry. Some of us will get depressed. Some of us will get weird. Some of us will not even know that we are worn out. Some of us will get sick. develop some kind of illness. Some of us will become a different person and not really recognize who we are anymore. Some of us will lose touch with some relationships. And some of us will just experience all of the above to some degree. So our worn out situation is very multifaceted, but it all comes down to that sometimes in life we must be in close proximity to something that is not good for us or something that do not wish us well, something that wishes us harm. Sometimes that's just part of life. And proximity is one specific skill. It's one term, one concept that can, help us maybe to some degree come to terms with our situation. Maybe to some degree help with acceptance. Maybe to some degree help us develop tolerance. Maybe to some degree. But also proximity is what proximity is. Sometimes it just wears us down no matter what kind of skill we develop on our end. And when that is the case, when we just know that, okay, this thing will just wear me out and there's nothing I can do about it, then it will become like this thing that we will look for purpose in or look for meaning. And it will take on somewhat of a life of its own. And that's also part of life. That's it for today. Thank you.